Good day, everyone, and welcome back to our Cybersecurity certification for Montfort Middle School students. This is Mr. Stitt, and I'm here to walk you through part 3 of the lecture series on cybersecurity for Montfort Middle School students. So, students, here's what I want you to do. First thing, congratulations on doing well on your last Kahoot. I know you did great. But make sure you have in front of you your notes, that specialized note paper, and a pen or pencil that you can take notes for part 3. And teachers, please be ready to do the next round of Kahoot with your students and prep for their cybersecurity certification test. All right, guys, let's dive right into part 3. Here we go. All right, guys, this lecture is all about legal and ethical issues. So you guys might be thinking, man, being on the internet and playing video games is really fun. And that's true. It can be fun. But there are certain legal things with the law that you have to be mindful of, as well as ethical issues. Ethical meaning how you feel and the right thing to do when it comes to being online and using other people's content. So let's dive into it. What are we going to talk about today? Here's the goals. Our goals for today is we are going to discuss issues related to downloading music or videos from the internet. Did you know that you can't just download music or videos however you want? There are certain rules that you have to follow in order to make this legal and fair for the people who created the content. Next, we're going to talk about comparing and contrasting the rules of copyright and fair use. So yes, you can download music and videos from the internet, but you have to do it in the right way, and we have to follow copyright and fair use procedures. So let's learn more about all these terms. First and most important thing is copyright and copyright infringement. Guys and gals, copyright is the exclusive right to make copies, license, and otherwise exploit a literary, musical, or artistic work, whether printed, audio, or video. Guys, here's what I want you to think about. If you own a house, you have specific rights to that house, and you have the right to protect it, and nobody can just come and steal it from you. Did you know that artists have the same rights for works that are their own? If an artist creates a beautiful masterpiece, a beautiful painting, you can't just go into their shop and steal it. Same thing with a musical artist. If a musical artist creates a beautiful composition, you can't just steal it. You have to pay them money to use it, or you have to give them credit for using it. That's called copyright. Now, when you break these laws, that's called copyright infringement, and that's an illegal use of copyrighted material. You do this when you download songs and movies without paying for them, or using pictures or content downloaded from the internet without permission. So you have to be very careful. Remember that digital dossier that we talked about in Lesson 1? You don't want illegal activity through downloading things illegally to be in your dossier. You definitely don't want that to happen. So make sure you always monitor copyright and you don't commit copyright infringement. All right, guys, so what can you use on the internet? Well, there's something called fair use. Now, this is the ability to use a copyrighted works or words, images, or ideas in a small, non-commercial way or in a parody without paying for it. So, guys, there is certain content out there that you can use. You just have to make sure that it's available for fair use. And when you do that, that's called being in the public domain. When things or works that are not copyrighted for any of a number of reasons, you can actually use that content, but you just have to make sure that the author or the creator doesn't have a copyright on it. Otherwise, you're committing copyright infringement. So here's some things to consider. Works that are not copyrightable. For example, titles, names, numbers, symbols, ideas, facts, processes, systems, and government documents. These things cannot be copyrighted, and thus you can use them for free. Works that have been assigned to the public domain by their creators. Certain creators want their documents to be free and accessible to all people. So look for these and you can definitely use them. Next, works whose copyright has expired. Now, some works of art and some works of literature are so old that you can actually use them for free because their copyright has expired. So if you look for specifically old documents, certain ones, their copyright has expired, so you can use them however you want. Just make sure they're within fair use and within the public domain. Last thing I want to talk with you about is ethical responsibility and citing sources. Now, you might not do this a lot in middle school, but definitely as you get into high school and college, you have to make sure that you only use a small part of a work. For example, a quotation or a single idea when you're citing your sources. Otherwise, this is called plagiarism, which is using someone else's work and passing it off as your own. You can't do this. This is against the law. And it can get you in big trouble, and you might even get kicked out of college or in serious trouble in high school. You have to make sure you're using citations. And this is a formal way of giving credit to people for their work. Giving credit to others for their ideas and information is the difference between research and plagiarism. So I do this all the time. I'm in graduate school right now, and I have to cite my sources at all times to make sure that I'm not committing plagiarism. All right, guys, so that was a quick lesson. That was lesson 3. And what did we discuss? We discussed issues related to downloading music or videos from the internet, and we also talked about comparing and contrasting rules for copyright and fair use. So you know what time it is. Teachers, I hope you're ready. Let's go ahead and play Kahoot. Teachers, please go ahead and click on the link to moderate the students' Kahoot game. And students, I want you to use your digital device. Go to www.kahoot.it and log in using the specialized game code. Good luck, and I'll see you next time in part 4.